is stable, you're fine. If the legs of the table are wiggling and shit, you need some grounding. You need some grounding. Right. But as long as you're bringing shit to the table in order for you guys to be stable, you're fine. You are just fine. That's fine as long as man doesn't have ego issues. But even just humans, we all have egos.
Someone said, I know a lady that makes more than her man. She once asked him to wash her car. Well,
it's washing a car now. Did she say it's my ass?
How did she ask him? I think delivery.
That's very important. That's very important. Be like, babe, can you please wash my car because I'm tired? Or be like, come on, just wash my car. You know what I mean? The tones, inflections of tones and things. Mm-hmm. And if you feel like somebody is disrespecting you, that's something you need to tackle. That's something you need to communicate about. Be like, I don't really understand why you're treating me this way. You know what I mean? So delivery, and that's also knowing your partner. Right. You know what I mean? Right. If somebody just like, if my partner was, man, I'll slap you jaw as a joke, somebody else from the outside would be like, oh, that person's being rude. But you know your partner enough to be like, oh, that's not what that person meant.
Right. Right.
So delivery is very important. And so if she's like, oh, wash my car, it depends on their relationship and how they see things.
Right.
In order for you, like from the outside, you can't really put your 2 cents in because you don't know how their relationship is behind closed doors.
You don't know. You never know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You really don't know. So whatever they're showing is what they choose to show you. But behind closed doors, you have no idea what's going on.
Right. So before we get into it, let's play a drinking game.
Okay. Oh, wow. There's 28 seconds. 1 second. There's 24 seconds. I'm going to go back on.
Oh, there's 24 seconds. Okay. Y'all have to join back in 24.
No, in like 14 seconds now.
Okay, 14 seconds. We're going to go back on real soon.
Oh, yes. Oh, hello. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, friends. We're back. Well, I'm back. And then we're waiting for Effect to come back. Sorry, guys. I look like somebody's auntie, but, you know, we're in isolation, so I don't really care. Hi, Akin. What's going on? Waiting for Effect to come on. Thanks for joining us. It's been great.
Great.
Hello.
Hi, Akin. Thanks for coming back. Just waiting for the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. Is it a drinking game?
So, a drinking game. What drinking game should we play? What do y'all want to play? What drinking game? Can you guys comment? Or I was thinking, never have I ever.
I literally was just thinking that. So.
That's the only drinking game that I could think of. I only have wine, so we could just do that.
Yeah, I only have a breezer, so we can do that. So do you want to start? You know what? Let me just pull up some questions.
You know.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Never have I ever shoplifted. So basically, wait. When you drink, it means you have done it, right?
Okay. Yes.
Right. Okay. So yes. Some good wine.
Some good wine, she says.
Mm-hmm.
Never have I ever kissed anyone and regretted it after.
Oh gosh. First and last time, girl.
Yo, it was the last time. I was like, like that. You go.
Never have I ever bungee jumped.
Nope. Okay. Never have I ever forgotten to wear underwear.
I'm gonna drink. Maybe when I was like 8 or something.
Mm,
Or maybe I just didn't forget. Maybe I just didn't.
right, right, right. I mean, that too.
It'd be like that sometimes, girl. It'd be like that sometimes.
Okay.
So, never have I ever had I'm just gonna keep it PG.
I felt that question in my heart before you even said
Oh my
it.
god. Oh my god. I'm gonna keep it PG.
Okay.
And just go, never have I ever been stuck in an elevator.
Yeah, that's never happened. Okay.
Okay.
Never have I ever registered on a dating website.
Oh girl, we've all done that. Well, never have I ever met a crazy person on a dating website.
Oof.
So what do you consider as crazy?
Stalker.
Stalker. Oh, stalker.
Yep. Stalker.
Great.
Like complete stalker where I was just like, okay, should I call the police now? Or like, nah. Like,
Okay.
bruh, what are we doing?
Fair enough, fair enough.
So
are we keeping this PG or are we just...
I mean, you can do whatever you want, girl.
All right.
Whatever you want.
Never, someone said, never have I ever been on 2 dates in one night.
Shit, sis. Guys, drop your questions. I've never ever
Drop
ever
your
been
questions,
answer.
Drop your questions.
Got it. Never ever ever dine and dash at a restaurant.
Oh God, that's mean. No,
I've never done it.
No.
I've never done it.
To the people
I'm sorry. I would literally go back and pay that money.
I will feel so bad. I'll be like, oh my gosh. I'd like send some money.
So sorry.
I mean, if the date is really that bad, you could just send money to them.
Yeah.
You transfer them the money at least, you know? Don't
be
mean.
Yeah. Guys, just do good, okay? Don't be
just
assholes.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Even when it's terrible, be kind, please.
You know?
Okay? Because karma is a thing. Karma is a thing.
Legit. Don't dine and dash, guys. Be kind to one another.
Be kind. It will come and bite you right in your left nyash. Your left nyash. Okay?
Never have I ever flirted my way out of a speeding ticket.
No. No. Oh wow. Drink, sis. Drink.
Yes.
Never have I ever
had a one-night stand on a first date. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Y'all are not.
Oh, we getting out. Oh. We going right there.
Y'all are not keeping it PG. I thought we're supposed to be. Well,
Nolly, why are you asking these questions?
Why are you asking? What you want to know? What you want to know? I'm just gonna do whatever I have to do on this side.
Okay. Never ever cheated on a test.
Cheated on a test. Oh, I have.
I haven't. Funny enough.
That's good. You're a good girl. Just stay that way. Don't get influenced by the likes of us.
Okay.
Never have I ever snooped on my boyfriend's phone.
Shit.
I think we've all done that, to be honest.
The spirit of curiosity got me.
But what do you think about that, though?
Snooping.
What do you think about snooping?
I think you have to have probable cause to snoop. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, I just won't snoop for no reason. But if I know something is just like, or he or she's just been acting funny for the past like couple of weeks, and I don't understand why because they're not communicating. That's another thing about communicating. If you communicate, I don't have to go through your phone. So, like, if I feel like, oh, this person is acting a little dodgy,
Mm-hmm.
let me see what's popping though. And usually your intuitions are right. And I was right when I looked.
This is
I
true.
found exactly what the issue was. That
Right.
was the problem. So if you had probable cause, then you go for it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Communication is not there. But
This
that's
is
how I
true.
feel about it. Never ever ever. This one is deep shot. Overdrafted on my bank accounts.
Overdrafted. Haven't we all done that at some point in our
Mm-hmm.
lives?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Abuchi says, never have I ever sucked toes. Sir, it is not me. It will
Y'all be
never be my
wilding.
portion.
Y'all be wilding.
Unless,
That's just. I think that's like an acquired taste for the people that
yeah, no, to each their own. If you like sucking toes, that's great.
do
But sorry,
your
it's just not
thing.
me.
Like we ain't
It's not me.
judging. We ain't judging. Just
No
don't bring it here.
judgment.
Don't bring
This
it
is a
here.
no judgment zone. This is a no judgment zone. You do
No,
whatever you want to do.
that's
You,
what I'm saying. So, yeah. But yeah.
your turn.
Never have I ever. Let's see now. Accidentally said I love you to somebody.
Accidentally say I love you, bruh. It's not
To
coming
like a
from me.
partner. To a partner.
Nope.
Okay.
Nah. Accidentally. Am I mad? What? Just accidentally drop the L word, fam. The D must be good though. Still.
Yeah, you know.
Never ever dated or hooked up with somebody 10 years older.
No.
Yeah, neither.
Yeah. Never have I ever had to run to save my life.
Shit.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tell us what
Nigeria.
where you running from?
Sis.
No.
Nigeria.
What
What?
happened, girl?
Police officers. I'm not even lying. Like, they looked like police officers though, but there were
But you
those
never
people.
know.
They were like robbers dressed as police officers,
How
and
did
we
you
were
know
in
they
the
were
Uber.
robbers?
It was in the dark, and they were just kind of like hanging. You know what I mean? They weren't like actually doing what police officers do. And we were in an Uber, and
Damn.
no, we had an Uber. You know how Nigerian Uber sometimes they just be like, "How far? You know, where are you?" To situations like they don't know where they're going. So we're like, "Okay, screw it. I'm gonna get into a cab." So we got
Right.
into like a yellow cab, and dude was like doing I think it was the first turn roundabouts, anyways, you know, and
Yeah.
so we took a roundabout, and homeboy's cab just like stopped randomly. Sis, thank God I know Lagos Island because as soon as I saw these police,
That's
like they literally
wild.
reached into the cab to grab one of my friend's phone. I got out on the other side and started. I said, "Everybody, start running."
How many
I was.
people were in the Uber?
There was four of us, and we were all not living in Nigeria. Like I was the only one from Canada. Everybody else was from DC, and everybody else, this was their first time, and this was like maybe my sixth time, right? So I understand the shit that was going on. And I kept telling my friend, I said, put up your window. Like, don't
Yeah,
even leave
no, you
the
cannot
window
roll
down.
down
Like,
your.
put up your window because you don't know what's happening. And guys like, oh, it's hot. I need fresh air. I said, guy, you're going to die tonight. And I didn't even mean to say that. But lo and behold, there were police officers in the dark, in the corner, ready to rob people. And I was like, brace yourself, we're running. I ran for my life.
That's
Shit.
wild.
I ran for my life. Um, Never ever ever had chicken pox.
Oh, I have.
I have.
You're trying to make us like you're supposed to ask the question so you don't have to drink. That's the whole point.
Girl, the first questions you asked, you did drink. So, like, I'm sorry, what? Excuse me?
Well,
Excuse me?
yes. Yes. Okay.
Continue your turn.
So, I mean, it would be nice to not keep it PG, but I feel like we should. So, do y'all have any questions for us? Never have I ever, or
Yeah, if you have a never ever ever questions for us, just pop them on and we'll answer them, or take a drink if we don't choose to answer. I will plead the fifth in the lot. So, hey, 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 hey. Okay, okay, okay. Never ever ever blamed a fart on a family member.
But who hasn't done that though?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to our interesting conversation about relationships. And we'll continue the game. Only if you want to continue now. If you have
I have one more question.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go.
Never ever ever Googled somebody before a date.
How important is this person though?
I've definitely done my research before a date. Going on about relationships, what do you want to talk about per se?
Do y'all have any questions? People watching, relationships, any experiences?
Yeah, let us know. About relationships now. Going back to the question you asked, like, does somebody need to know, past traumas or whatever? Do you now feel like, let's say a woman's either had a miscarriage and or abortion, do you think that she needs to share that with her partner?
Not necessarily. I think that if the relationship is not leading to marriage or something final, then I don't think it's something you have to share. But I do think that if you do decide to share it, just make sure that you're in a safe space to share it. Yeah. So if your boyfriend or husband or whatever is a safe person to share it with, then go right ahead. That's what I think.
I think it's important if you are trying to build a family with this partner, that's something that you probably should share, because it could
affect this person.
Yeah, it could have scientific issues. You know what I mean? Not necessarily like, oh, I don't want to share it, but like, God forbid, you can't have children again, but you didn't even know, or your partner can't know because you had a miscarriage and abortion, because it happens. That's just biology. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like all women go through that, but there are some women who go through things like that. I feel like that's something you should share with your partner.
Definitely.
But if it doesn't change your future plans, then you don't need to share it. It's all about the future, and the future you have with this person, I believe, is like, if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, if I'm gonna have this person for the rest of my life, maybe I should share this type of baggage with them. But you also need to keep in what's the word I'm looking for? Keep in check that this person has to be mentally ready for the information you're about to drop. You know what I mean? You can't just like drop information and then expect them to react a certain type of way, because they're humans too. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you need to literally sit there and be like, okay, can this man or woman handle what I'm about to drop?
Right.
So I feel like if you're just dating somebody for the fun of it, like I said again, not their business. But if it's somebody that you're like, okay, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, so let me tell you now why I'm acting a certain type of way. So then you don't act funny when I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm losing my shit right now. Are you going to attack me or give me my space? You know? So that's how I feel about that situation.
What about long distance relationships? What do you think? Like, would you date somebody in a long distance relationship? Would you go into a long distance relationship? Would you do you think it works? Do you think it's something that could work?
Honestly,
do you think you can go into a long distance relationship with someone if there is no in-person foundation? What do you think about it?
Honestly, at this age, I would say yes, because there's a level of maturity and a level of discipline that comes with long distance relationship and age. And especially, like I said, it depends on what that person's bringing on the table, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if I was younger, I'd be like, long distance for where? You know what I mean?
No long distance, like you're trying to have fun.
But that's also what comes with like love languages, with people who their love language is physical touch. That's hard.
It's hard though.
It is hard.
It is hard.
Yes. So, Akin says in-person foundation is needed, and there needs to be a finite timeline when y'all together.
Yes, I agree 100%. With that 100%.
100%. I agree with that 100%. I believe that if I truly love somebody and I know this person is doing what they can for us, not him or, for me, like it's a us thing, a we thing at this point, I feel like that's okay. But then when you start to like feel things and like communication at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Once you start to feel certain situation, then you communicate that with that partner. And if that partner doesn't understand, then throw the whole partner away. I'm sorry. But like garbage, because I'm being honest with you, we're like miles apart from each other. I have certain needs that we need to talk about. If you're not understanding of those needs, then I don't understand why we're in this together. You know what I mean? How do you convince someone to enter a long distance relationship? You don't convince people.
You don't convince people.
You don't convince people. You just let them make that decision. And if they don't want to make that decision, throw that person away. I'm sorry. Like, trash. Just throw that person away.
Not necessarily. Like, if long distance is not their thing, then long distance.
That's what I'm saying. Just let them go.
Right.
Let them go. I'm not saying like throw them in the trash, but just let them go.
You could trash them as like a relationship partner, but you don't have to trash them as like friends.
As friends, exactly. You can still be friends with them, but be like, that's not what I need right now. You know what I mean? I need you to understand that this is what's happening. And if you can't understand that, why are we doing this?
Right. Exactly.
Why are we doing this? Can't go on forever, won't work, simple. Yeah, I mean, some people are just not meant for a long distance relationship. Like I said, when I was younger, I was like, sir, like I just can't do this because I need you live and direct. But then now I'm just like, this is nice because now I don't have to deal with you when you're acting stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you're miles away, so I don't need to do this. No new friends. I mean, I'm all for new friends as long as you come correct.
Right. For me, long distance relationships, it's not my thing, to be fair. I don't know. You need like the special grace of God.
Yeah.
To get me into one, because anybody got time for that. Quality time, physical touch, all of that. Like, if you're not ready to stay on the phone with me for like an hour or two,
it's not gonna work. Kole work. I understand that 100%. I mean, there are days where I want to be on the phone for hours, and there are days where I don't even want any type of communication whatsoever. And I feel like that's why long distance works for me, because now I can just be like, mute my phone. no disturbance. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is it anyone's thing? What is anyone's thing?
Long distance relationship.
It's my thing. I'm cool with it.
It's not my thing. It's just
It's not. Yeah. I mean, everybody's different, right? She said no.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
special
get
grace of
most
God
people
though.
like.
Special grace of God, because ain't nobody got time.
I honestly believe, because as much as I do love being around people and like love just another person next to me, there are days where I'm just like, can you please just leave? Like,
Right.
don't talk to me, don't touch me, those, you know what I mean? And as that having that long distance relationship gives me that space
Right. Fair enough.
to you know what I mean, to
But
take care
then
of
when you do
me.
come in to the same space, are you still gonna
Mhm.
want that? Are you
Yeah,
still gonna feel that
100%, a
way? Are you
hundred percent, a hundred
no?
percent.
And how would you handle it though? How would you manage?
Communication, and it comes down to the like, listen, I need like a couple of days without you right now. You know what I mean? Like, you are on my nerves. Not even they're even on their nerves, just even their presence. There's people you just like sick of their presence just because you're in your headspace. It's not about them, it's about
Right.
you,
Right.
right? And
Mhm.
then you have to take that into heart and be like, okay, I don't want to unleash all this unnecessary baggage on you. So give me some space so I don't act like an asshole towards you.
Right.
You know what I
They
mean?
say we should talk about religion and relationships. Okay, I get when people say long distance is not their thing, but what happens if somebody has to move because of work?
Cheerleader. That comes to be your person's partner, your cheerleader, and things like that. If
Yeah, but
now,
you already have an in-person foundation. So it's
mm,
something that you can work towards. Like it hasn't it can't be like a definite like no, sorry, it can't be like an indefinite thing. Like it
mm-hmm,
can't be like, oh, I'm moving and that's it. Like, what is the plan? Like, am I coming to meet you
right,
afterwards? You know, are you coming back? You know, like
right.
you have to have some kind of a plan where you guys come together and see each other again. But you can't just like move and be like, oh, let's like do a long
Let's
distance.
just go.
There
Yeah,
has to be like a timeline. So
I
I think,
hear that.
yeah,
Someone says, I get, oh no, or life happens and you want to move. Okay. So what happens if you're married to that person? It does come back to communication. You know what I mean? Do you know how many if and when I get married, I'm gonna have a woman cave just as my man or woman is gonna have their man cave. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations where like, I'm just gonna disappear for X amount of hours and do my shit by myself, my rituals without you.
right.
Don't take it offensively because I still love you,
Mm-hmm.
but I need my space. And I feel like that comes down to communication. At the end of the day, I'm going to say this, I don't know how many times it's like, communication is key, because that person needs to understand why you need that space.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just not
Mm-hmm.
offended because you're like, oh, I don't want to be around you. You know, they're like, you know what, baby, it's fine. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, they don't even want your wahala. They don't want your trouble. So just deal with what you need to deal with and come back and love me as much as you can. That's how I feel about if you're getting married to somebody. You need to be able to communicate with that person that, listen, this is just not it. Today I'm not having a good day. My mental whatever is stressed and I need some time to myself. And I would love it if, if it's an emergency, let me know. But other than that, I'm just going to by
And you
myself.
need to have someone that's understanding as well, like someone that can get you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when you do need that space. Like, because a lot of people are traditional and they won't
Mm-hmm.
just subscribe to something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
those are just not like, if you're not a traditional person, then you don't need to be with one. But
Exactly.
understanding is important as well, like empathy,
Empathy.
love,
Empathy is a big one.
empathy.
Empathy is a big one. And if some people are just not even there with empathy, and that's okay, but understanding is a level of empathy.
It
It
is.
is a level of empathy. You don't have to be an empathetic person, but you just need to not necessarily agree with what the person is doing, but understanding why the
Respect
person
it.
is doing. Respect it. That is it. Respect is a level of empathy,
Right.
because You don't have to fully be like, oh, you know, blah, blah. But you're just like, okay, I get it. I get it.
Right.
So, you know, do your shit. If you guys have questions, please ask us.
Any relationship questions? Any like
Hi,
experiences you've had in relationships or other?
Have you ever had a woman, you, if I personally, wanted to have a relationship with you? And how did you handle it if you were asked?
Yes, I have.
Yes. How did you handle it?
How did I handle it? I think I communicated with the person, and I said, I can't like laughing. I was like, what is this question? Just put me on the spot.
Yes.
But I did. I think I just communicated to her that like that's not a thing for me, and but we can still be friends. We can still be friends, and that's fine. I'm just reading the comments.
I can call him out.
Like,
what? Yeah. So you communicated it wasn't for you.
I hope someone's recording this video because I want to see my reaction to that.
Well, soon, please. How you doing, babe? Continue.
Yeah. So I just think that I just communicated. I was just like, that's not where I am. And you know, it's okay that you are this person, and it's completely fine. Like, I don't judge, but that's just not where I'm at, you know. Okay. But I hope we can be friends because you're a great friend.
What's your take on a partner that's clingy? Throw that whole partner away, please.
Yeah, that is some level. That's a toxic trait, by the way. Clingy partners.
That honestly, to me, that is sociopath.
Yeah, that's like a form of codependency, and read about codependency. It's just, you need to read about it because it's it's
a thing. It's a thing, and like I said, you also need to understand where that person's coming from, because this could be an underlining condition that leads to something like that. So before you call the police, talk to that person.
Call the police.
Girl, I had to call the police once or twice in my life.
I can't. Why are you trying to call the police? Girl.
Yo, I had to call the police once or twice in my life. Be like, sir or ma'am, this is person.
Shoot.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's a thing. But you need to understand where that person is coming from. It could just, like you said, codependency. That person could have been abandoned at a very young age, and they feel like if they lose you, they could be abandoned as well. So, yeah, there's different levels to clingy. What's the definition of clingy? Just not understanding cues. Social cues, private cues, any type of cues. If you're not understanding, like, please leave me alone. That's, I feel like, a definition of clinging. Calling you 3 times in a day. No, maybe more than that. You know, just checking up on you and things like that.
Someone that's not emotionally independent.
Yeah,
that's clingy.
Exactly that. Any other questions?
So are we still on relationships?
I mean, we can talk about whatever. I mean, we can definitely be on relationships. I mean,
let's talk about sex.
Huh? No, I'm saying my relationships, I feel like I'm very confident in the relationships I have with people now, because they're intentional.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're not just, I'm just in a relationship, like friendships or any type of relationships. They're intentional. I'm not just friends with you for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's something we're both bringing to this table, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whether it's physical. There is a give and take for the relationships that I'm now in with people. So, I mean, if you're not doing anything positive in my life, there's no way for me to
Yes.
be in a relationship with you.
Yes. Yes.
Abuchi says, so how do you show you care or express your emotions? That's also based on love languages. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Showing that you care is based on the person that you're caring for,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Right.
how they see what care is.
Right. Right.
Um, so I
Hi,
I
Zainab.
I
Thank
feel
you.
like it
I see your
depends
comments,
on
girl.
the
Sorry.
person. That's okay. And I think it depends on the person that you are caring for.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want you to show care by the way you treat them, by the things you say to them, by the things you buy
Right.
them, it depends on the person you're caring for.
Right.
So that's my answer to that question. What about you?
Um, I think, yeah, love languages, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Express your emotions. Just express it however the person can receive it.
You're right.
You know.
Exactly.
Communication.
You
That's
don't want to express your feelings to the wrong person and they invalidate it.
right. That's the
Because
worst.
that's the thing. Because if you now be like, well, I'm feeling this way, and the person is just like, I don't know what that complex is called, but they're like, oh, but at least this, but at least you got this, at least, you know what I mean? Without them
It's
validating
not the
exactly what you're
partner you
feeling.
want to be with, honestly.
Right.
And let's we talk about sex after this conversation. By the way, we will
Mm-hmm.
talk about sex because I know y'all want to hear about sex.
Apparently.
Um, but before we get into that, let's talk about idealistic relationships. In the sense where you are this persona, or
Mm-hmm.
you have this persona, sorry, and you have like what you want to be or the kind of person that you want to be, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have like who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Zainab says she's a virgin. Please, Zainab,
Come
please.
on, sit down.
Jeez, I can't. Anyway, um, so you have this person you want to be, and then you have this person that you are. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a relationship before where that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, how do you differentiate? How are you able to show your partner that, this is not really the person that you are, like the person you want to be is just a persona. It's not really the person that you are, but they are very convinced in their heads that that's who they are. But then you are
Right.
receiving something different. You know what I mean? I've had a
Yeah.
relationship like that, and for me, I'm just like, well, I only realized the relationship after the fact. I only realized that he was just an idealistic person,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, wow, I that's the first time I've dealt with that before. Like,
Right.
but it's a thing.
Right.
So how would you deal with that situation? With that kind of
I feel like you just need to transparency, really. When you now start hiding who you really are versus like what you want people to see, that you're just like hiding from yourself.
Yes, yes, there is
Mm-hmm.
that. I did have a relationship, or not a relationship, but a thing with
Mm-hmm.
a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm innocent, innocent. But yeah, with a guy that was very like he wanted to be this person on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But what if the guy you're dealing with doesn't actually know that he's doing that? He genuinely thinks that he's this person that he wants to be, but
Mm-hmm.
what he's like projecting to you is a different person.
Right.
So how would you
Um,
do that?
I feel like that also comes down with communication. I call his ass out. You know what I mean?
But
Not
you're doing that
necessarily.
and he's not processing that because he genuinely thinks this person is who he is. How
Mm-hmm.
would you deal with that?
I feel like now it depends on you and how much you love yourself. Because at that point, I would have left. You know what I mean? It's just if you're seeing like if he's not practicing what he's preaching, I would leave. You
Right.
know, and it's easier said than done because
It
if you're in love
is.
with this
Because
person,
emotions.
Yeah, if you're in love with this person, you're like, man, maybe I should stick it through. Or if you're one of those people who always just like get up and leave, and you're like, man, I'm just being too emotional. Let me see if I can actually, go through this and be okay. If it's taxing on your mental health,
Mm-hmm.
then I would say that's not your portion. Just leave, But in a situation like that, I've been in a situation like that, and I was blinded to it until after the relationship. And I was just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, wow. Like I said, and I was like, man, Tito, you put up with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Because you love this person. And I'm really not one to put up with nonsense. And I sat back and I was like, wow, you put up with that? Like, were you that blinded to like, people have a
Mm-hmm.
friend. People have a friend. And then
People
you see
do
that
have a front. People
people
do
have
have.
friends, and it's for a very long time, and I was part of a front for maybe
Wait,
a year.
Zainab's like, kiss it bye bye, I beg.
Yeah,
Pack
pack
and
and go.
go.
Thank you, sis.
Oh
Pack
my
your
gosh.
loads and go. But like
Mhm.
I said, it's easier said than done,
It is
especially
easier
when
said than done.
emotions are
Emotions.
involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in marriages, when
Yeah.
children are involved, it's
Right.
hard for you to get up and go because you've
Agreed.
now invested
Yeah.
years and now your eggs into the situation. So, um, I can't really speak for anybody but myself, but I would honestly just pack myself and go because I don't have any ties to this person except for my feelings, and feelings change. You know what I
It's
mean?
true. Yeah.
Feelings change, emotions change. Like you are a human being, you're not a robot. It's nothing is set in stone.
Right.
So if
Someone
you
said, sorry, communication is key in this. You got to be with someone who can handle the truth. Okay. This is
hmm
true. Yeah, you have to communicate and you have
yeah.
to be honest about it. And if you're not with someone that can handle that, then yeah,
And if you
the
feel
bounce.
like you're scared to be honest, throw the whole partner away.
Garbage.
Like throw them, if you are terrified to
Yeah.
share something
Mm-hmm.
that's so deep inside you to your partner, throw that partner away, because
Mm-hmm.
that's not who you need to be with. You should be able to sit there and be like, I'm feeling some type of way, I need to share this with my partner,
Right.
you know and if you
Yes.
can't do that, sis or sir or whatever,
Right.
throw that partner away. I think we always bring the version of ourselves we think the other person. Exactly. It's a front. At the end of the day, you start showing your true colors once you're like, okay, the honey stage or whatever is done. Now I'm going to show you who I really am. That's why it's good to be very observant and realistic in the
Observant.
dating
Yeah.
phase. Is when you're mostly clearly you're dating. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
But you
because
know what? Yes, like I said, I have been with a guy that genuinely, I think even till today, he genuinely believes that he is this person. So
mhm,
it's just,
he's lying to himself.
he is, but when you're in a
Mhm,
relationship with like that, like it's so difficult. It's really so
mhm,
difficult because it feels like your opinions, your feelings about this person, your feelings about what's happening, it's being invalidated.
mhm,
Because you're
mhm,
saying like, oh, this is how you're treating me and this is how what you're doing is affecting me. But
mhm.
this person's like, oh, but I can't be doing that. That can't affect you this way.
Right.
Or, like they just genuinely think that like they're not doing anything. And that's,
And that's a
that,
them issue. That's a
right,
them issue. It has nothing to do
right,
with you. And I feel like now that you need to think about that, because people now will take um the projection onto themselves.
right,
You
right.
know what I mean? They're like, oh, this guy's saying this guy's saying that. I must be the one that's the problem. No, you're
You
not
have
the
to
problem.
self-love. That's why when we are talking earlier about healing and just dealing with your toxic traits and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, and we're talking about how it's better to do that yourself instead of doing it with a partner. We're not saying that you shouldn't do it when you're with a partner, but we are saying that there's an element of that you should do yourself because it's your
Mm-hmm.
issue. That is
Mm-hmm.
where this comes in. Self-love, self-care. How do you love yourself? How do you, you know, treat yourself right? How do you deal with your past pain and trauma? Like, you know, so you don't pass it on.
Don't pass it
That's
on.
what it is.
Like, you want to pass on positivity.